Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now a few years ago I put the RTX 3070 to the test with one of the most notorious PC ports, Grand Theft Auto 4, to see if the card had what it took to max out this aging masterpiece. GTA 4 sits amongst some of the best games I've ever played, but one thing that let it down and still does, though maybe to a lesser extent, is its performance. It's never easy to gauge how it will run, and despite launching a decade and a half ago in 2008, even some modern systems will have issues, but surely it will pose no problems for this beast. An i9-14900K and RTX 4080 Super. This high-end build combined with 32 gigs of fast DDR5 6400MHz RAM is surely enough to make light work of a game that suggests a Core 2 quad and an Nvidia 8600 as the minimum requirements. Yeah, we're going a little higher end than usual today. When I used the 3070 back in 2020, it was paired with a 6-core 12-thread i5-10400F with an all-core turbo of 4GHz. There were still some performance problems, but today we've ditched the mid-range combo and gone straight to the top. Surely now we can eliminate every last bit of stutter. The i9-14900K has 24 cores, 32 threads and a 5.7 GHz all-core speed. The RTX 4080 Super I'm using, more specifically the Asus TUF Gaming OC edition, has over 10,000 CUDA cores and 16GB of GDDR6 VRAM. Not that we should need anywhere near that even at 4K resolution, but let's see how it runs. By default, Grand Theft Auto 4 runs with DX9, an older API which is supported by graphics cards that are 10, maybe 20 years old. I'm not saying the game will run smoothly on such ancient hardware, but chances are you could buy almost any used GPU on eBay right now, for example, and this game will work with it. With that in mind, it's difficult to imagine a system like this having problems, so I felt it made perfect sense to dive in at the deep end with 2160p resolution and the highest visual quality settings. As you can see, we have plenty of VRAM to spare according to the resource usage indicator. Be sure to keep an eye on the on-screen overlay for allocation and usage during gameplay. GTA 4 still looks great as far as I am concerned, and with this top tier combo we are averaging 173 FPS. This figure was taken from 15 minutes of driving around a predetermined route, a route I had no trouble repeating numerous times thanks to my many hours of playtime on the Xbox 360 back in the day. The 1% low was 88 and the 0.1% figure came in at 38 FPS, which does indicate a few frame drops here and there. There were some noticeable inconsistencies with frame times in certain areas, but overall it's nice to see that around £1,500 of CPU and GPU power as part of a £2,500 PC can produce a more than acceptable gameplay experience. To be honest though, I have noticed that since the update which repackaged the game as the complete edition, together with episodes from Liberty City, performance has been better across a range of my tested hardware. I also wanted to try the game with DXVK, a Vulkan-based translation layer which has helped with performance in the past. If you're a regular here on the channel, you may remember that it provided a massive FPS boost with early Intel Arc drivers. I covered how to use this in that video, which is a bit outdated now, so I'll link an amazing in-depth guide from a channel by the name of TJGM in the description. This time around, our test system is averaging 195 FPS at 4K, with improved 1 and 0.1% numbers. Not only does this mean that the game feels smoother, but the performance overall is far more consistent. I'd still suggest enabling VSync or locking the frame rate using third-party software like RevaTuner, as I've heard that really high frame rates can mess with certain physics, but I wouldn't know, as I don't think I've ever got frame rates this high in GTA 4, and leaving things unrestricted for the purpose of this video allows us to witness the performance differences. It's always interesting to test Grand Theft Auto 4 because despite its age, I still see plenty of forum posts regarding its performance and how to improve it, and even those with top tier machines aren't completely immune to experiencing frame time issues, some of which we occasionally saw today. In conclusion, I think it's safe to say that this system, with components exceeding a value of £2,500, is indeed enough to max out this masterpiece at high resolutions with what is admittedly higher frame rates than I was initially anticipating. The out-of-the-box DX9 experience still isn't perfect, but it's definitely more than playable, and it's still worth giving DXVK a go to see if and how performance changes with your preferred system specifications. Don't get used to seeing hardware like this on the channel, but I thought while I had it for testing, we may as well see if it could handle this legendary game. Thank you for watching. Let me know how GTA 4 runs for you in 2024 on your PCs down below, and hopefully I'll see all of you in the next one.